Hi, Well Tribe. It's Michelle Andrushak here, and I'm so excited to introduce you to personal branding and you. So, why is your personal brand so important? Well, in this day and age where the old marketing techniques and the sales techniques that used to work 5 years ago no longer work, we live in a new economy, what I call the engagement and connections economy. And people engage with people, and people connect with people. So, especially if you are a solopreneur or a small business owner, it is really important to develop your personal brand, who you are, what you do, so people can connect and engage with you. So, let's talk about personal branding or branding as a whole today, and where did it all start? In this day and age where what used to work for marketing and sales no longer works, we have entered into a new economy where personal branding is the way to connect with your most valuable client. Personal branding is so important because if you follow my rule of allowing people to know, like, and trust you before they do business, that personal brand is how you allow people to get to know you. And today, I hope together we'll develop a personal brand statement about what your values are, what the credentials are that you have to do what you do, and the solution you offer to the world, and to answer your most valuable clients' biggest question: what's in it for me? Why should they work with you? Why should they buy from you? So hopefully we'll develop a personal brand statement today just for you. When it comes to personal brand, it is about your values, your credibility and credentials to do what you do, and offering that solution of what will the client get from you, or what is the results they'll have from dealing with you, from buying your product, or from engaging in your service. So we're going to develop that today. Personal branding is all about getting to know you. So what is a brand anyway? Let's look at all of these different logos that we have on the screen, and they are massive. But I think the word brand is widely used, but sometimes not very well understood. What does brand mean? And how does how has the word's application changed over time? The first definition of brand is the name given to a product or service from a specific source. That could be how you name your product, how you name your business, and whatever logo you develop as a representation of that product or service. So used in this sense, brand is similar to the current meaning of the word trademark. More than a century ago, cattle ranchers used branding irons to indicate which animals were theirs. It was an easily identifiable brand on the ear or the head, so not only if the cattle got away, then they could identify who they belonged to, but again, it became a brand of the ranch, and sometimes became a brand for the quality of the cattle that were being raised at that ranch. So again, as time developed, with the rise of packaged goods in the 19th century, producers put their own mark, similar to that cattle brand, on a wide variety of products, from cough drops to flour to sugar to beer, to indicate their source of the product. And you can see they continue to do so from all the different logos you see on the screen. However, the biggest difference between the logos and the companies they represent on the screen and the average small business is the amount of time and funding that is required to educate the consumer what that logo means. It took Nike thousands of dollars and an immense amount of time to educate the general public that the swoosh symbol meant a great set of running shoes. Colonel Sanders spent a lot of money with his image and the KFC logo, showcasing to the world how great his Kentucky Fried Chicken was. Now remember, if you don't have the funding and the deep marketing pockets to spend a lot of money educating people on what your brand represents and the quality that represents and the service that it represents, then personal branding is the way to go. It is more affordable. Your brand will be unique because it will be your face. It is not often feasible for the small business owner to hide behind a fancy business name and a beautifully graphically designed logo that's artistic but doesn't actually communicate what service or product you sell. Quite often, the brand needs to be you as the solopreneur. So branding, personal photography pictures, your face, your name is a great way to not only portray to the rest of the world in an affordable way who you are and what you do. You'll be easily recognized. You don't have trademarking because your face is unique. Your name may be unique as well. If you're thinking about how to develop your brand, if you're thinking about starting a business and designing a logo, consider making it more of a personal brand to avoid a lot of costs in educating the public on what your logo means. So when you're thinking about developing your personal brand, ask yourself, how would you like your customers to see you? Is it as knowledgeable? Is it as efficient? Is it about fun? Is it about adventurous? Thinking about who you are will lay the foundation of your personal brand. And from your personal brand, you'll be able to develop a marketing strategy, an elevator pitch that you would use at a networking event, the about section of your website, and ongoing social media posts so people can realistically get to know you and like you and trust you and then engage in your business. So simply put, your personal brand is what a person thinks of when he or she hears of your name. So let's see what you think about a person's brand. What do you think when you see these people? Mother Teresa. Again, Mother Teresa did not intentionally develop a personal brand, but yet she did have one. When you think Mother Teresa, you think caring, giving to the poor. She was the epitome of self-sacrifice and helping others. That was her brand. Now, even though she did not manage it from a business perspective, she was a leader in a lifetime. And if you remember about branding, if there's one thing that I'd like you to remember, if you don't manage your own brand, the public will manage it for you. In this case, Mother Teresa did not manage her brand, but the public managed it for her. It was a great personal brand of giving and self-sacrifice and helping the world and feeding the poor. But nonetheless, that was the brand the public gave her. Now let's look at somebody else. Taylor Swift. This is a great representation of managing your brand. So, what do you think of when you hear the words Taylor Swift? Or maybe hear her music. It could be a variety of different ways, but she has definitely managed her brand and changed her brand multiple times. She started out with a brand of the great American girl next door who sang country music and shared her love of life through her music. Then she changed her to reach another demographic of rocking out teenagers. So changed her brand again, changed her music, changed her lyrics, changed her look. That was an intentional process to change her brand. Whether you like her or not, regardless, she managed her brand. And sometimes the paparazzi managed her brand for her. Will Smith. If you remember back in the days, if you're like me and a fan of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you'll remember Will Smith was a rap star. He had, his ball cap off to the side. He dressed like a hip hop guy. He had the jewelry. That was all about personal brand. And you can see Will Smith's career developing over time, where now he's a public speaker. He is a motivational speaker. He looks into serious roles versus the fun hip hop personality that he used to be. He portrays himself as a fabulous father and a great husband. So when you're thinking about developing a personal brand, Will Smith, if you follow his career, you can see distinctive changes in how he's managed his personal brand. Now, I don't say you need to be a celebrity to have a personal brand. If you are representing your business, if you are a consultant or an author or someone who sells makeup or someone who sells clothing, you have a personal brand, whether you like it or not. The choice is, will you manage it? Let's talk about Miss Oprah Winfrey. She has a brand as well. It popped into your head as soon as I said her name. Whether you like her or dislike her, nonetheless, she has incredibly created a brand where she has become a household name. And it is her name that is said amongst multiple households around the globe. She's Oprah. What does that stand for? Well, you tell me. Another brand icon in Canada is Wayne Gretzky. Fabulous hockey player, giving back to his community, training up-and-coming hockey players that come up behind him. It is amazing what he's done with his personal branding. So much so, he's taken his brand reputation and developed a vineyard, and now you can buy Wayne Gretzky wine. There are streets named after him in Edmonton, Alberta, and he has generated a personal brand that now has multiplied into millions of dollars. So the question is, what do people think of you when they hear your name? That's what we're going to develop and build on today. So why should you even build a personal brand? If you are a business owner in downtown Red Deer, or if you're a restaurant owner in Vancouver, or if you are a crafter in London, England, why should you have a personal brand? Being recognizable personally as a brand opens many professional opportunities, and it creates a vision for your future. And implementing that vision could lead to, if you're a leader, finding a better job. Because even if you are an employee, when someone mentions your name, a thought or a perception about you will pop into their head, whether it be about your leadership skills, whether it be how you communicate, whether it be how you engage with a team. You will still have a personal brand regardless if you're a business owner or a leader. So again, if you're looking for a potential increase in your promotional area of leadership, then having a great personal brand or a great personal reputation will serve you well. If you're looking to grow sales in your business, then allowing people to get to know you under that know, like, and trust model will really help, because again, women especially are very relational in how they do business. If they feel like they know you, chances are they'll walk into your store or pick up the phone and call you or order online from you. So when you're thinking about developing your personal brand, it really does showcase who you are, the credentials that you have to do what you do, and answer the question of your client or your customer when they ask, "What's in it for me?" So here is a great quote from Tim Ferriss. If you've heard of Tim Ferriss before, he says, personal branding is about managing your name. That's what we've discussed. Even if you don't own a business, in this world of social media and of course misinformation, disinformation, and semi-permanent truths of Google records, then someone is managing your personal brand for you. So when you're looking at going for a job interview or doing some promotion for your customers, chances are they've Googled you. In this day and age, if you're going on a date, chances are that the blind date has Googled your name. So when you're thinking about developing your brand image, what you put online is also as important as how you present yourself offline. So what's your personal brand? The way to create it is simply to organize your thoughts, values, and priorities and create your own, what I call a personal brand vision or statement. This is the way you want yourself to be perceived by others, and also how you want to live your personal and your professional life. Because if you are online, your personal and your professional life in the eyes of your customer are the same. Here is an example of a personal brand statement. To be the most passionately referred agent in the real estate industry while striving to provide my clients with the optimum service they deserve. So that's from Amber Weisenhunt. I'll share my personal brand statement with you as well. Hi, I'm Michelle Andrushak. I'm a fun and ferociously focused certified management consultant and award-winning business coach. And I'm passionate about helping women in business and leadership increase their productivity and increase their profitability. The very first sentence of my personal brand statement was a statement of my values, that I love fun, and if I'm not having fun in my business, then I'm just not doing that. And hopefully I can provide a little fun in your life when you work with me as well, but also that I'm ferociously focused and I'm really passionate about getting things done. And when I'm focused, that nothing else distracts me until the job is done. So the first step in developing your personal brand statement is taking a look at your values. Values are the things that drive our lives. They're the core of where we go to make our decisions in life and in business, and we normally take into consideration, either consciously or subconsciously, what our values are when we proceed for making decisions in business. So, for example, a person might have the following set of values where they're family focused, maybe they like to spend time with friends, maybe being a volunteer or being an active part of your community is part of your values as well. Some people value ambition and drive and that propensity to succeed. Other people value caring and helping each other, providing great solutions, and other people value intelligence and knowledge. So think about your values. What is important to you in your life? So let's make a list together. You'll find some opportunities to do this in the resources section of the VIP WOW membership to go along with the masterclasses. So let's prioritize your values. Again, you'll see on the slide some values are honesty, integrity, progress, great communication, excellence, commitment, family. It could be travel. It could be whatever you feel is important to you. So make a list of 10 values that are really important to you and your business and how you represent. Then what we do is we look at those values and prioritize the top 2 or 3. So what is really important? What is your core values? So like I said, my core values was having fun and being ferociously focused. Other people like travel, for example, or adventurous, or helping people, or family orientated, or the ability to create lifelong memories. Choose the top 3 values that you've listed, and let's take a look at how we can integrate them into a personal brand statement so people can know who you are. Now let's identify your passions. Now your passions may overlap with your values that we looked at in the previous step. Family could be a passion or a value. Passions are what you like to do in your free time, whether it be travel, play sports, be fit and healthy, volunteer. So I want you to write a list of your passions as well. So we can identify that you might be passionate about empowering somebody, passionate about providing great knowledge or great travel experiences, or passionate about bringing families together or healing people from the inside out. So let's think about, what are your passions? Let's make a list. And if they are similar to your values, you know they are the words that you might want to use in your personal brand statement. Now, after we've identified our passions and our values, let's identify some of our ideal traits. So realistically, these are the unique aspects of your personality that help to shape the person you are. Traits are things that give others the key inside our thought processes. It is the envisioning of the very best version of yourself that helps you stand out from the crowd. So what 3 or 4 adjectives best describe your ideal traits or the value that you offer to the world? What words do you use to define your personality? Once you pinpoint what you feel are the right kind of words, it's a good idea to consult a thesaurus to precisely nail the exact words. Here are some possibilities, but don't limit yourself to these. Keep exploring. Remember, your personal brand statement has to fit you like a beautiful coat. It has to be the perfect fit, tailor-made for you. So some of your ideal traits might be that you're collaborative, that you're resilient, that you're forward-focused, you're a risk taker, maybe you're well-connected, or you're a visionary, maybe you're diplomatic or intuitive, maybe you're enterprising or ethical or genuine or accessible. Thinking about those traits will also help you develop that, what I call the answer to the WIFM question when your client says, what's in it for me? So we will use all of these words to develop your personal brand statement. So stick with me because we've got one more step. In step 5, we'll identify what our core strengths are and thinking about what they are just for you. So what functions and responsibilities in business or leadership do you excel in? For what things do people look up to you as the expert or the designated go-to person? And what gap would your business be faced with if you are no longer there? The possibilities are endless, but here are a few suggestions. So some of your core strengths could be that you're great at analyzing. Maybe you're great with facts and figures and financial statements. Or maybe you are the ultimate team builder in your business and you love collaborating. Maybe you're great at leading a team or empowering others or crunching the numbers or mentoring people or communicating or visioning or innovating or managing conflict. So what are your skills or motivated skills? Write those down for me as well. Don't worry, we're getting close to your personal brand statement. Step 6 is discuss who you are with family, friends, and peers. Remember, personal brand is quite often what other people think of you versus what you think of yourself. The first place to start is looking for common words that you might find in your online reviews. If you have any testimonials from clients, look through them and see, are there any similar words that they use to describe you, your product, or your service? That's a great way to identify how to explain to others what you provide through your personal brand. Now, ask people what their perceptions of you are. Ask them about what they think your values are, what your passions are, and what your greatest strengths are. The outside perception might offer a really good viewpoint on who you are and what you do. Either way, whether you like what they say or not, you'll have more information about who you are as a person and what solution you offer through your business or your leadership style. It's a great opportunity to see the portions of ourselves that we actually cannot see for ourselves, but can only be seen by others. So for more information about that, pop over to the Self-Awareness Leadership course, and Lorraine Pearson will teach you all about the Johari window of how other people see us and how we see ourselves. Okay, now let's get together and craft your personal brand statement. Let's look at your values and your passions. Let's look at what gives you the credentials to deliver the products and service that you do. And then lastly, let's answer that WIFM question, the what's in it for me question that your customer is always asking of you. Now remember, a personal brand statement is generally 3 parts. So if you break my personal brand statement down, if you were looking at traits and values, then it would be the fun and ferociously focused section. If you're looking at credential and building credentials and credibility, it is certified management consultant and award-winning business coach. Then the what's in it for me statement, the answer to that question is I'm passionate about empowering women in business and leadership to increase their productivity and profitability. So hopefully when you work with me or you're part of the VIP Wild Tribe membership or a mastermind group, that's the result you'll leave with after you work with me. So let's look at you and break your personal brand statement up so we can build it together. So your personal brand statement can be created by identifying your emotional appeal. What are your personality features? Again, part of mine was fun and ferociously focused. This can be as easy as saying you have a crazy sense of humor or that you're obsessively organized. To take a few moments to say, why are people attracted to the brand of you? Describing yourself. When it comes to your brand, who are you and why do people enjoy working with you? If you're a travel agent, for example, you might share that you're an adventurous world traveler with a knack for enjoying unusual foods, and you can't wait to design your client's travel adventure to make the memory of their dreams. Again, identifying what your specialty is. What do you do, and what do people want you to do for them? What are your credentials to do what you do? Remember, when it comes to personal branding, it's important to be authentically who you are. Remember, when you're producing a personal brand statement, it is all about being authentically who you are. And it's important to remember, because I think all too often when people hear the word personal branding and think how it applies to them, they think about artificial images and personas that they need to create to ensure they're representing themselves appropriately. If you are adventurous and you're in the travel industry, then showcase your adventures. If you are fun and ferociously focused, showcase that. If you're young and hip and you're running a social media company, then show up as who you are. So this applies to every facet of life, but I think most often applies to the context of social media, because for better or for worse, that is the arena where most personal branding interactions take place. So when we're talking about authenticity, check out Brené Brown's quote. Authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. So if you don't normally show up to work or present yourself in your business in a suit jacket, then your personal brand imaging should probably not, you shouldn't be wearing a suit jacket. If you normally have a certain hairstyle or a certain hair color, and that is who you are, then changing your hair color or your hairstyle might also impact your personal brand and how people connect with you. So thinking about who you are, what your values are, what your passions are, what your traits are, how other people see you, and bundling that up into a great personal brand statement that's authentic and conveys the real you will be the way to success. So you've heard my example of my personal brand statement. Let me show you some more. So we have one from another business consultant who says, I help companies make the most of talent. I marry the sublime with the systematic, allowing for change with a focus on implementation. So remember, here is we have the qualifications of making the most of talent and what the focus is. There is another great example of I energize, focus, and align manufacturing organizations, resulting in sustainable acceleration of processes, reduction in waste, and growth of profits. So by that personal brand statement, you instantly know the answer to the WIFM question, what's in it for me? Another financial consultant says, using my holistic insight and innovative total performance scorecard principles, I help my clients to realize their financial dreams. When you're thinking about your personal brand statement, these are just some examples. And there are many more from the clients that I have coached to develop their own personal brand statements. Here's a fill-in-the-blanks type of template you can use to develop your own personal brand statement and help you get started. So it could be as simple as, I use my business building skills and passion for women in business that I'm known for increasing their productivity and profitability. So feel free to edit it to meet your needs and fill in the blanks. You'll also have this in your workbook from the resources category that you can download in the VIP Wow Tribe membership. A great quote by Tom Peters, the writer of In Search of Excellence, states, all of us need to understand the importance of branding. We are CEOs of our own companies. To be in business today, our most important job is to be the head marketer for the brand called you. Now remember, authenticity, values, traits, credibility to do what you do, and answering the WIFM statement is the foundation of your personal brand. Once you have your personal brand statement, you can build your website, your social media strategy, and be able to be prepared for networking events. You have a personal brand on paper or a personal brand statement. Now what? Personal branding is the ultimate individual responsibility. That's why it's called personal branding. No one should manage your personal brand but you. But quite often what people say about you to others can be impacting your personal brand. So managing your personal brand can also be called managing my leadership image or identity and capabilities and resources which allow me to have the most impactful career or business and significant on others. So communicating your identity or your personal brand will also teach other people what to say about you when they're referring your products or services to their friends and family. Now remember, sometimes our personal brand is also impacted by the people that we associate with. Jim Rohn, a famous leadership guru and business advisor, said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I believe this to be true. So the individuals you associate yourself with and whom you decide to align your personal brand with will influence your leadership journey and your business profitability. So remember, this represents a critical stage in your management of your personal brand. It requires you to be extremely mindful and disciplined about the relationships you forge, networking goals, and the resources you need and share with others. As I said, the most popular place your personal brand gets managed or gets managed for you is social media. So whether it's intentional or not, your personal and professional brand on social media often collide and overlap. Followers on LinkedIn might hunt down your Instagram account. Facebook friends will find you on Twitter. It can be hard to keep the professional brand professional when the audience contains as many friends and family members as it does clients and coworkers. Maintaining a personal brand means keeping on top of your privacy settings. The goal is not to stop sharing your personal stories or photos, but simply silo the very personal items within a specific circle of social contacts. So look at the types of personal posts that you share on Facebook or any type of other social media, from photos to status updates. Consider whether you would want them to be viewed by any of your professional contacts or your customers or your clients. Guaranteed, if you're posting personal activities with a public setting on Facebook, your customers will find your pictures. So look at your privacy settings and limit the type of personal posts that you might just want to keep personal. If you'd like to dive deep to create a personal brand statement just for you, then pop over to the Ask Michelle time where we can work on it especially for you and design it together, combining your values, your traits, your expertise, and answering that WIFM question to develop a personal brand. From that personal brand, you'll be able to showcase who you are to the world and engage and connect with your most valuable client. I hope to see you then. Thanks for joining me in this masterclass today.